They're designing and redefining the cities of the coming century. The vision of modern Tokyo that has led the companies to push for a different future. Excessive centralisation of Japan's economic and political functions has created a sprawling, congested urban nightmare, where land prices are well beyond the reach of most people. Instead of thinking horizontally, designers are now trying to make better use of the land by going vertical. The most extraordinary of the five is Taisei Corporation's proposed Exceed 4000. A staggering 4,000 metres high, this Mount Fuji lookalike is around the same height as the Alps and taller than the world's highest city, Lhasa in Tibet. It sits atop a floating island, and all the activities of a city take place within the giant pillars and girders. It's hoped this city will accommodate nearly 750,000 people, but just how comfortable they'll be is yet to be seen. At 5,000 metres, there's only half the amount of oxygen than at sea level, and serious altitude problems start to kick in around that height. These are problems that will have to be seen to. Not all the designs are inconceivable. Obayashi's Millennium Tower seems almost feasible by comparison. Based on a snowflake and seashell design, this 800-metre, 150-storey structure will be positioned 2 kilometres offshore in Tokyo Bay. It will be linked to the mainland by a highway, a monorail and an underground tunnel. How long would it take to get from the bottom to the top?
Well, hopefully it takes 5 minutes. Of course, we can reduce it much shorter, but due consideration to the human effect on how human feels if we move up the elevator too quick.
That's right.
Yes.
So you've decided that 5 minutes is a comfortable speed?
Yes.
Like the other designs, Millennium Tower will comprise business sections, residential areas, as well as recreational spots.
That is what the business park concept is. To earn money and to spend there simultaneously on the same place. That is the idea.
Living and relaxing where you work is a concept that's foreign to most of us. But if you had to travel perhaps 4 hours a day to and from your office or city centre, as many people here do, then this convenience could be very attractive. Millennium Tower is not designed for people with young children. It's pitched more to young childless couples who'd eat out in the restaurants, visit the cinema, perhaps go boating in the marina. But there's potential too for senior citizens who could enjoy the benefits and services of a city infrastructure without the hassles. It's estimated the tower will take around 10 years to construct and will cost the equivalent of $16 billion. At the moment, high-rise buildings aren't a major part of Tokyo's skyline. The area's vulnerability to earthquakes has kept building heights lower than other big cities. The 5 construction companies all claim they'll be employing new earthquake-resistant technologies that will allow them to build such tall structures. The DIB-200 from Kajima Corporation is an 800-metre, 200-storey building made up of 12 cylindrical units of 50 storeys each. It will use a system called Seismic Response Control to self-correct its balance during an earthquake or typhoon. Sensors throughout the structure will detect any vibration. That information will be sent to other parts of the building, which will then alter its centre of gravity, in the same way that we correct our own balance when we stand in a moving train. Kajima Corporation already employs this technology in several tall buildings throughout Japan. The DIB-200 will be made from high-strength steel and concrete and will house, along with offices and homes, a hotel block, 3 heliports, and will be topped by a spectacular glass observation area. We can only imagine the view we'll get 800 metres above ground. Shimizu Corporation has gone for a different approach. Rather than one large high-rise incorporating all the different facilities, they propose a number of skyscrapers built within a giant 2,000-metre high pyramid frame. This structure is huge. Its perimeter, to use a Japanese analogy, is the equivalent of 8 18-hole golf courses, and 1 million people will live and work inside the so-called Tri 2004. People will travel along the horizontal and vertical shafts and carry transceivers which will give them directions and help them find their way around this structure. This pyramid city is ambitious not just in design, but in the methods of construction required to make it a reality. In fact, there are several features incorporated here that aren't even available yet. Research is underway to find the most suitable material for these shafts, for example. It needs to be light and strong, but current mixtures of carbon fibre and reinforced plastic are too flammable for these circumstances. Perhaps titanium could be added to the mixture, or it could be coated in ceramic. Both of these are on the drawing board. There's another dilemma. This structure will be over 2,000 metres high. Cranes have trouble working above about 400 metres. They become heavy and unstable. So automated construction is being proffered as a solution. It's hoped that by early next century, robots, not cranes, will do the work. The final proposal, Sky City 1000, comes from the Takenaka Corporation. It's made up of 14 sections or plateaus piled one on top of the other. The sections are 14 stories high, and each one is a small town. Each town's 5,000 people will live on the perimeter of the section, while the central plaza will be left for a primary school, meeting places, and various recreational activities. Monorails and elevators take you from place to place. The designers claim they're ready for action. All the necessary technology exists. They're just waiting for the $35 billion necessary to start the job. These ideas may seem alien and to some shocking. Critics would say it's the beginning of our total alienation from our natural surroundings, that we've become prisoners of our own lack of city planning. But how keen people will be to move in will depend what they're moving from. Many of our major cities appear to be out of control. Their infrastructures are breaking down and people are being cast adrift. Even though these structures have been specifically designed for Tokyo, it may well be that the populations of other cities like Hong Kong, Mexico City and Singapore will also find them appropriate. But wherever they spring up, if they do at all, they won't just be experiments in engineering. They'll also be social impact studies, because there's little to prepare us for what living and working in mega high-rise structures like this will be like.